Hey, what is up? Welcome, boys and gals, to a new episode of Mythos and Psyche Explored. It's actually such a strange concept to live in these huge cities and have so much options that we do not treat our partners as humans anymore because we can replace them, and I just don't think we are designed for that. Anyway, the reason that I'm nagging about this is because I just can't let go of my ex who didn't treat me very well. I just can't let go. It's fucked. Sometimes I feel I'm the only normal one because I attach and I stick it out and I try to figure it out with the same person. And she's like, one mistake, fuck you, get out. I'm gonna find another one. Losing her pushed me into the deepest layer of hell, I think, I find. And strangely enough, after 1 month of hibernation in hell, I woke up and I had a lot of new insights in the pain that women go through and why they behave how they behave. I mean, they're being fucked over from all sides. Society and culture is lying to them. Their parents aren't raising them right. They have way too many options and freedom. And they get a lot of bad memories, a lot of trauma, and there's a lot of danger. They themselves spiral out of control, as we all do. But if you have a small tribe, you usually have people who put you back in order. And yeah. So let's go back to the topic. What to do after crawling out of hell? I'm not claiming that I'm out of it completely, but I do think I've reached a critical mass upon which there's like an auto healing process that has started. But I don't know. It's all gonna be about sobriety. The sobriety is I'm already in a lot of pain because I'm sober. My shoulder's hurting like hell. I hope it will pass. But yeah, it's gonna be something to live with. So I do like to symbolize hell as like a rotting swamp or a dark forest or a scorched desert. You know, a forest of suicide, a swamp of addiction and lethargy, and a desert of isolation and hatred. So, because hatred, frustration, and resentment are my favorite emotions, as you all know by now, I suppose. But the thing is, we're getting older, we're slowly breaking down. Nobody really cares about us, especially not if you're a man. I mean, if you're a woman, nobody cares about you neither, but everybody wants to like be with you or fuck you, and that's why it's like the illusion that other people care. Anyway, clock is ticking. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. So I already told you internally life is about youth, health and relationships, but externally it's about friends, family and tribe. I mean that's it. Yeah, luxury and comfort and food and all that blah blah blah, but in the end, in the essence, if you don't have friends or family or tribe, you have nothing. Then of course there's sports, which is yeah, okay, sports are also a very human, animalistic, natural, normal thing to do. Then there's music, which is like a meta language in the sense that it's we all feel it, we all know it. It goes way deeper than language. We can all enjoy it. Some people are really, really loving it. Like me, for example, I don't really care that much about music, although certain types of music can really, really push me, bring me in in a higher state. For example, cinema is more my thing. Movies, um, and of course lovers. Like I have decided I want a career, I want to be useful, I want to develop skills. You have to practice on speaking and breathing again. I've smoked for too long. I completely dropped the ball, but I was in hell, so what do you want me to do? Like the lovers, it's like, except for a job, which I need to support all the things I talked about, and myself, and my food, and my roof, and my clothing. When all of that is done, I do believe that what the fuck is life without a good woman? I mean, aesthetics are important for me, and her personality is also important for me, but that doesn't really mean that she has to be a good girl. It means I have to like her personality. She needs to be developed. Like, she can be stupid or annoying. Maybe I don't know what I want. So, well, I do know, but it hasn't worked out. So probably it's not that. But what would life be without a woman? Like, I want to be in love with a woman that's in love with me, and I want a family with her, and I want to build with her, and I want to spend decades with her. So yeah, I already talked about a fitting job to pay all those things that I'm just talked about. Like, it's also I cannot stop the age of promiscuity and craziness and madness. I cannot stop being treated like shit because maybe I just don't respect myself, and I cannot force any human bond. Human bonds grow organically, takes time. So yes, she'll be fucking another dude for sure because it takes several weeks of dating and then several months of bonding before you have that strong connection. And I can be a worker, and I can be a fighter, and I can be a lover, and I want to be all those things, but life is starting to chip away at me, man. So, anyway, one of my new sentences is like, all effort is in vain, all promises are lies, and all rewards are ashes. And that's something that I really, really believe, which does not mean life is bad. It does not mean is bad. It just means that in the end, all the effort that you're putting into something, it's all an illusion. It's not that important. Nobody cares that much. And as time passes, it's just gonna flow away. Like we are not that significant. And all promises are lies because promises in the future, it's kind of the same like hope. It's like Pandora's box. It's not a. It's better to have a consistent energetic output to achieve your goals. Replace that with hope because hope is for weak, poor people, and it's passive. It does nothing. It's nothing. It's a feel good bullshit. And all rewards are ashes because you never worked very hard for a project, and it's finished, and it's like, oh, well, that wasn't worth it. It was all an illusion, you know? So we all need to spend some time in hell, I do believe, to form us, to appreciate life, and to know the difference between good and evil and what works and what doesn't work. Like, we all need a few years, hopefully a bit less. But like me spending 15 years in hell is not advised because you're gonna come out broken, and I think most people never get out. Then after we went through hell, we have to choose to be a good man and to help our friends, family, and our tribe. We have to be resilient. We have to be social because nothing good is done alone. It's all in group. We have to be attractive. A lone wolf is a dead wolf and an incompetent wolf. Resilient in health and emotionality. We have to accept reality as it is. We have to let go and we have to move on, but I still refuse to believe that all women are cruel, cold, nasty, mean, and evil. There have to be some good ones out there. There have to be. I still hope. So, what do we do after hell? Well, of course, we have the sacred trinity. We have to focus on our sleep, on our sports, and on our food. Yeah, what we eat, what we eat. Sleep is the most sacred thing in the world, and sports are everything. So, underlying health issues have to be addressed. With me, for example, it's my shoulder, it's my eyes, and I just don't take care of myself. I don't know what's wrong with me. And substances, of course. Get fucking rid of the substances. I am nobody to speak. I've done it for 15 years. It sedated me, it eroded my life. I lost all my friends. I mean, it's not per se because of the substances, but partly because of the weed. You know, the weed takes away your raw ambition, what you really need in your 20s as a guy, and makes you asocial, makes you do all kinds of bad stuff. But that's a gateway drug. That's fucking bullshit. Yeah, that's bullshit. So the first step would be get a shitty job, then get a better job, two jobs part time, one to cover the basics, one for savings and investments. And eventually the goal is to get a career, specialization, good skills. So the second thing to do, and it's more important, which is sports, but you need a job to pay for those sports. So, for example, dancing, because it's important that you can dance. What the fuck? It's a basic skill. You need to be able to fight as a man. There's just no escaping dancing and fighting. You need 2 3 hours a week at least minimum in these two things. And then if you still have time left, a free choice job, sport like I don't know, pool or swimming or jogging or whatever. Well, jogging is kind of also mandatory, or walking, jogging or walking. So then, of course, we have the outer layer of enjoyment in life, your hobbies, your music, your events, quality of social circles. Seems so insane to me that movie used to be a social event. I could have had so much. My life would be so much better if I was born 30 years before. Yeah, the 70s, 80s, 90s, that would really, that was the golden age, I suppose. And then for women, man, I love women. I think they're amazing. I really love them. They just don't seem to love me. Maybe it's because of all the frustration, hatred, and resentment I have in my heart, and also because I'm very masculine and conservative and patriarchal. Like, I gotta get out, gotta dance, gotta find your niche. And like several things I've also noticed about girls, girls want to be free, they want to fuck around, they want to fall in love, they want to have heartbreak, and they want to repeat that cycle over and over. Is it their hellish cycle that they never get out of? Yeah, and then there are these wounded little birds, and I want to save them. I want to be Captain Save-A-Ho. Then I heal them, put all my affection and love into them. Then they say, "Okay, thank you, bye bye. You're boring. You're too good for me. You're too nice." And then they go fuck the bad boy. Because I actually have a solid scientific ace essay on why bad boys win, and now it makes a lot of sense. It actually makes a lot of sense why bad boys win if you understand human nature, especially female nature. Relations don't seem to work long term. Like I meet so few people who are married long term, like who are happy and loving with each other. It's crazy. It's like it's an illusion. It doesn't exist. It's like a framework for children, but even after 10 years with children, they start hating each other. It's so strange. Why doesn't marriage work anymore? Why don't long term relationships work? We want to fuck other people. We want to cheat. We get bored. We want something different. It boggles me. So then there's also the fact that girls start early, 13, 14, 15. They have a lot more partners, a lot more casual sex. And by the time they turn 25, which is basically when most men start to get into it and start with this stuff, they're burned out, they're hard, they're cold, they don't want to do this shit anymore. They have so much options. Like, they're the masters of sex, they have so many relational options. They're so arrogant, entitled, and spoiled because of that. Of course, everybody would be. It's a human thing, it's not a female thing. Most of the things that I say about females, by the way, I can say about humans. But there are differences. We are not the same. And then there's the last point that bad boys win and good men lose. but there's several reasons for that. It is for another video. Oh man. So to summarize, well, yeah, you got to start with a shitty job, then and then I feel well job, and then you got to build a career. You got to be very very careful with making money, and go for consumption. No, no, no. When the basics are covered, you need to explore other things, because if you think that making money is going to give you the loving relationship that you want and the right friends, you are so dead wrong. So smoking and drinking, you got to get it under control. You got to be sober for the majority of time, preferably like almost all of the time. Oh yeah, then there's the rabbit holes of social media, porn, and video games. And then there's the deep, deep, deep traumatic issue that I have, and probably also a lot of other men have, is like the pussy worship and the lusts, and then the resentment that comes from it, and the attachment, which is basically what I call the four, the four or the five, I don't know, like the greed, gluttony, sloth, lust, and then there's envy. So basically, I've made 11 sins. Dante, for example, described 9 sins with, of course, specializations, sub-specializations. But I've really thought about this stuff, and there's like 11 ones. So yeah, I'm just an asocial, frustrated monkey, an AFC with AFB, underlying health issues and shit like that. So how do we what do we do when we're crawling out of hell and we're almost out? Well, you got to think of your sports, your sleep, and your food, and of course your social web. That's it. That is fucking life. Then you gotta get your job. Then you gotta walk, talk, dress, and smell good. Like, it's simple, but these aren't that easy skills to get. Then your tribe, your family, your friends. Very important, very important. We are not built to be alone. I know. I know. So yeah, and if you want a girlfriend, then you gotta feel good in your skin. And all the good girls that I ever had, it's like it was in my player phase. I was happy in my player phase. I was just going around, not taking anything too seriously, and then it works out. And then I switch into boyfriend mode, and they run away. They think I'm disgusting. They think I'm the devil impersonified because I want to be their boyfriend. Uh, so you got to take care of your movement with women in the land of women. And all these things that I just talked about, they are the basics. And then we haven't even talked about further specializations. Oh my god, there's so much work to do. So, thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.